Hello everyone, welcome to day 9 of the Christmas Eve.
This was shit.
It wasn't one of the better ones.
Sorry. This was shit. Bum 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 because it's shit. Bum 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 bum.
So, while we were setting everything up to actually watch it, I said, so there's some pop star, I don't know who, Todd would probably know, that is getting a lot of airplay on Radio 1 in the UK, who has a cover of Little Drummer Boy. Fair play, you know, a lot of artists do really good Christmas songs, you know, there's a lot that I like,
RuPaul the Red-Nosed Drag Queen is our real song.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah. But no, I'm thinking like the Indigo Girls cover of Joni Mitchell's River, that's a favorite one of mine. Bare Naked Ladies and Sarah McLachlan, Good Refuge, Merry Gentlemen, Dave Matthews, The Christmas Song. There's a lot that I really enjoy.
Twisted Sisters, A Twisted Christmas.
No, I don't like metal.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. To the tune of We're Not Gonna Take It. It is awesome.
If you say so. But so, the problem is that your man sings it all like R&B, like soulful. And I said that it's really, really, really difficult to soulfully, sincerely, honestly convey emotion when you're singing pa-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Pum-rum-pa-pum-pum.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like someone who's too drunk for karaoke. And then I was like, wait, no, I take that back. Only 2 men can do it. And they're now dead. So no man alive can. And I showed her the Bing Crosby and David Bowie duet, which is like really, really awesome.
I'd love to hear like a Motorhead covering. Let me. Oh, he's dead too. Him going like.
So we watched the Rankin Bass, The Little Drummer Boy story taken right out of the Bible,
starring Henry VIII. The 3 kings in it are, one of them Henry VIII, another one's Korean or Chinese, and the third one sort of looks a bit maybe Zoroastrian-ish.
Now see, here's the thing, is because one of the 3 kings was always portrayed as black, I figured that he was like a king from like the Nubian Empire, or like, you know, somewhere in Africa.
Although
I didn't know about Zoroastrianism when I was like 6.
Oh, no. As we discussed beforehand, they're not actually kings. They're meant to be magi or wise men.
And star in every Square Enix game.
I think what happened was they wrote the idea that Jesus, one of his nicknames was the King of Kings, and so they sort of transplanted that onto the origin.
3 out of 10 kings agree.
Although there weren't actually 3, according to the Bible, there were 3 gifts and an undefined amount.
Well, like, how did, like, that not cause mass anarchy when, like, every king in the Fertile Crescent was, like, gallivanting off to Bethlehem?
Except apparently Herod.
I know, right? He's like, fuck this noise. I am the only king, baby.
So, yeah, it's...
Bring me the head of John the Baptist.
I mean, okay.
I want him to suck me off.
The entire nativity story is bullshit. Obvious bullshit, invented after the fact in order to try and fit in things like myth and prophecy and legend and all these things to make it together, to make a good narrative.
Now you're getting quite controversial here. Don't forget to mention the alt-right. Sorry, we mentioned, like, vaguely mentioned the alt-right in, like, the Claymation Christmas special, and then people started arguing about Nazis in the comments, and I was like, how did this happen? Usually my comment section is full of, oh my god, I thought that was really cool. My favorite thing is this. Or I liked... that you guys did this. Can I suggest that you do this thing? I think it's really cool.
Like you got the all the negatives of having a lot of views.
I was like, what?
Like, you know, all the argument of people misconstruing what you're saying and sort of being idiots.
It's got like 150 views.
But you didn't get the extra views.
Even after it went up on Channel Awesome. Dude, maybe I should slag off Nazis more awesome. More awesome. That'd be awesome if I slagged off Nazis more often. No, but so this is a completely made up story.
Omega, go home. You're drunk.
I am home. I'm not actually that drunk. I had a wee bit to drink tonight. It's like nearly midnight. I had an 8.5-hour workday because it's retail hell week and I am allowed to work full-time hours when the term isn't on. This is the first day of the term being off. So basically my boss is like, how many hours you want? And I'm like, keep them coming.
And we should have done this hours ago, but there was lots of problems. And so I arrived here about 4 hours later than I should have.
Yeah, but anyway. So this is the story of the Little Drummer Boy, which has nothing to do with the actual song.
See, I'd only heard ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, like these parts
No.
because of SF Debris' Christmas episodes, and I was like, I had no idea what it was from, and just from the pa-ra-pa-pum-pum part, I assumed it was set in the 18th century. I had no idea it was actually set
like
during
a
the
wee
Nativity.
drummer boy who went off to fight them in Napoleon.
Yeah, because their type of 2,000 years ago drums did not have that sort of sound.
No.
It sounds like you're impersonating a Napoleonic drum.
Or a snare drum.
Yeah. So I assumed it was that. So I was like, well, this is disappointing lack of cannons.
Well, the story of the little drummer boy is that he goes, everyone's going to see the baby Jesus, and he goes too, and he's like, what's the crack? And they're like, oh, we're going to go see the new king of the Jews. And he's like, sounds grand. And then everyone's like, we're giving him gifts. And he's like, but I'm a poor pauper. I got nothing. And so he was like, maybe I'll play my drum and the king will be impressed. So when it's his turn, he's like, oh, it's a baby. Didn't see that coming. And he's like, don't worry, man. I'm a poor street urchin as well. I'll play my drum for you. And baby Jesus smiled. And that's the end of the song. Like, literally. And he's like, guess I go back to pre-medieval poverty.
Well, in this version, his family get murdered by these guys. And
Like, literally, like Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru style.
Yeah, and you can tell how small the model of the house getting burned is because how giant the flames are. But then he runs off into the desert with a lamb,
he doesn't like
and a
people
camel, and was there a dog?
No, it was a sheep. No,
lamb,
it's a camel and a donkey.
A donkey, a lamb, and a sheep.
The donkey didn't have a name because the camel was named
something.
Joseph. No, not Joseph. Jacob. Something with a J.
Jacob, I think.
Yeah, and the lamb
Joshua?
was named Joshua. That's it. Well,
We were paying attention.
That's a Hebraic name. And then the lamb was named Baba, which is an Arabic name. It was kind of confusing because the bad guy is a guy who's dressed stereotypically Arabian, right?
And he's voiced by Jose Ferreira, otherwise known as the Emperor Shaddam in David Lynch's Dune.
Shaddam. But so his name is Ben
Haram.
Something like that.
It's the first part of his surname is Haram, as in Arabic for forbidden or bad, and then it is Haramed, as though they've mixed Haram and Ahmed together.
But the Ben denotes him as Hebrew
and being the son of something.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Ben means Ben something. So.
Like my grandfather's name was Emmanuel Ben Altar Yosef.
So, and Ben is not usually a first name unless you call Benjamin, which was a separate name. But so Ben is usually a middle name. So this guy has the most anachronistic Middle Eastern name since side characters in Left Behind novels.
So we spent a lot of time debating if he was a Jew or not.
I just think they put a bunch of words together and jammed them together without any rhyme or reason.
Because regardless of his ethnicity or religion, he has an American accent.
I mean, the three kings had guards who were basically Norman soldiers.
Yes, they have with the nose guard and everything. That won't happen for like another 1,000 years. Yeah.
So and one of the three kings
had like an ermine stole kind of like Henry VIII style.
There wasn't absolutely everything about that character was Henry VIII. They ripped Henry
Except for
his costume
like
off.
the wives.
Yeah, but it wasn't just his little bit of his bit of fur. It was the entire thing down to the hat.
And the tall black king had his standard inverted mushroom puff hat.
Yeah.
I have never seen in antiquity an inverted mushroom puff hat. If you have and you have examples, write the show.
So this kid threw
his name was Aaron, by the way, and he wore yarmulke, so we know he's Jewish.
So his parents die horribly. Killed by these bastards. So like Luke Skywalker, he goes out into the desert and discovers amazing powers. But unlike Luke Skywalker can use the Force and teams up with Alec Guinness and becomes his catamite, he trains his animals.
No, the animals already dance anyway. Because remember when his dad gave him the drum, he started playing on it, and the animals dance.
Okay, so he doesn't actually learn anything. He just goes out into the desert and plays his drum until apparently he plans to die, and they dance.
Like immediately, he's scoped out by Ben Inappropriate and his little lackey, and they
his little lackey Benny from the Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Yeah, pretty much. So they capture him and they're like, "Oh, we're players. You're gonna make me so much money." How they are players with one guy. He's worse than Geppetto. At least Geppetto had some talent. Geppetto had some actual puppeteer mastery going on there.
Like with these guys, you got the big fat guy Ben Haram. can do literally fuck all. He's basically Penn Jillette without
he
even a
sings
good
a song
ability.
about how he can't work like the other men if the goose is flying high or riding low, but there weren't geese in the Holy Lands.
Yeah.
And then, like, your man Aaron, he sings a song, like, saying, oh, why do we never see a gator smile? And I'm like, well, because alligators are in North America. I think you mean the crocodile, which is native to...
And crocodile would rhyme better with smile.
Yeah.
But the big fat guy, he's basically Penn Jillette without actually any discernible talent. And the other guy is Benny from The Mummy, and he apparently is a juggler, but he breaks absolutely everything when he's juggling. So...
And just so you know, Joseph still looks Semitic, Mary still looks Nordic.
Yeah. Oh, and there was one guy in the crowd who was watching all the players do stuff. It was Abraham Lincoln.
He did. He was wearing a fez, but he was bald, but then he had, like, the Lincoln, like, mutton chops.
Yeah, and his fez was really tall and thin and black. So it was totally an Abraham Lincoln one. So I was like...
And what's the joke that you made?
Abraham?
Get it? Abraham Lincoln.
Because
the Bible.
Yeah, as in he's the patriarch of the American people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was actually a joke. It was just me pointing out that it's funny.
I thought it was witty. I was impressed. And there were parts in the crowd scene where, like, the crowd, like, hands froze when animation was happening. This is stop motion, by the way. This wasn't traditional animation.
It was like a...
It was like, oh, we can't be bothered. It's too much to do all this stuff. Like, if I'm talking, you freeze. And I'm talking, they freeze. It was just really bad.
Yeah, the entire back row of the crowd were doing that while they were having dramatic scenes.
And,
it was
like,
fucking hilarious.
So basically, like, they get kicked out of Jerusalem for being shysters, pretty much. Well, not even shysters. They don't even do anything, really. They just get kicked out for being
anything
horrible.
but shy.
Well, that's true. But what are you doing with a blanket? It's gonna fall on my head. Just leave it be where it is.
It's on top of me.
Oh, well,
It's
anyway.
crushing me.
It's
My
not-
arm is broken.
Stop it. So they're out in the desert and they see the caravan of the three kings, and your man's like, hey, let's make some money. And they're like, we don't have time for you. We're following the star because that's the way. And he's like, no, please reconsider. They're like, piss off. And one of their camels falls down, and the king's like, she's exhausted from having to travel. We can't load her up again. And they're like, oh, we'll just sell them this camel.
No, we'll need another camel just to drag this camel, so we can use its, meat and everything and fur.
So, Ben Unpronounceable sells the little drummer boy's friend, Camel, into servitude.
His friend, Joe
Camel. Into servitude. And then gets a pile of money, and I thought he was going to sing a song about money, but he didn't. And so the little drummer boy runs off with his donkey and his lamb.
Money.
Where's
$1
my fucking money?
$1 Million Man theme from the WWE.
One time, somebody in this room made me watch Big Money Rustlers.
And Hustlers. Rustlers was better than Hustlers.
No, they were both shit. If you're curious, she and Rap Critic did a 2-part. Just go.
Come on,
watch
guys.
It. Just go watch it.
Watch them both. Big Money Rustlers is so far above Big Money Hustlers. It's so far ahead that if they made another film and it's as far ahead of Rustlers as Rustlers is above Hustlers, it will actually probably be average.
But anyway, so they get to Bethlehem because they follow the star. They're like, that's the same star those kings are following. Let's go. And they get there, and like it skips over the whole nativity part of this, and like all of a sudden everyone's like paying tribute to baby Jesus.
Squirt.
That's not how it happened. People weren't watching when she had the baby. They like came afterwards.
I bet they did.
It's no, because like here's the thing. Like I think it was just Mary and Joseph in the manger when Jesus.
Only
was
Joseph
born.
came afterwards.
Would you stop that? Joseph was just probably like, this is gonna be trouble. I just know this kid's gonna be trouble. Nothing but trouble.
The little kid decides to run over to the king.
And he's like, there you are, Camel, I love you. And then an evil Roman, and because he's the only Roman, but he's evil, driving his chariot through the wee side streets of Bethlehem at breakneck speed in the middle of the night. Like those joyriding Romans are wont to do. Like, runs over his lamb.
To be fair, I have been in Rome, and that sounds about right for the driving.
In a chariot?
Well, yeah, that's a modern day version.
But a chariot needs room, though. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But like, so he's like, oh no, my lamb is dying. I'll go ask those three kings. They seem pretty wise.
And they're like,
well, no, only the black guy just answers him. He's like, I can do nothing for you.
Yeah, well, the Henry VIII was too busy killing one of his wives, and the Chinese one was too busy wondering what the fuck he was doing in the Middle East.
He was like spouting platitudes to people.
Although, to be fair, apparently they discovered in Roman Britain, they've discovered at least a couple of skeletons of Chinese people in Roman Britain.
I mean, the spice roads was a real thing. I mean, like, it was really difficult to get, across 2 fucking continents, but it was possible.
Yeah.
But, like, I hate that, like, whole idea that, like, there were no other ethnicities in Europe, because that's...
Oh, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Totally not true.
That's completely ridiculous. However, I didn't realize that actually that people had made it all the way from China to there. I mean, traditionally with the spice road, what you would do is, unless you were you would usually go a certain amount.
They could have been
and then
slaves.
you would merchant to someone else, and then they would go a certain amount. Very few people would go from one end to right to the other.
Except slaves, who were a commodity.
Yeah, possible.
Because the Romans were totally into slaves. But yeah, so then your man the king is like, look, I can do nothing for you. I'm just a mortal. I can't do life and death.
The discovery of those bodies means that Clash of Empires by the director of Vikingdom was a fucking documentary.
Maybe he's an elf. Maybe he's from Lapland.
Because it features the Chinese and the Romans teaming up to defeat magic pirates and founding Malaysia with Alexander the Great's descendant from India.
I bet you didn't know that. You need to watch this, especially if you're in an altered state, because I didn't know. It's hilarious.
It's like Dragon Blade has fucking John Cusack and what do you call him?
And watch
Jackie Chan.
Watch Vikingdom.
It's like, guys.
Seriously.
You want to see the Malaysian version, but the guys who did Vikingdom, it's awesome.
So, he goes, and he's like, wait a second, this new king is a baby, what the fuck is he gonna do for me? But he goes up anyway, and he's like, he sees everyone else giving gifts, and he's like, shit, I got nothing. So he decides to play his drum. And I want to mention that the Vienna Boys Choir was, as they say in the beginning, was
doing the
pum-pum-pums. Well, a lot of the other songs, too. And I realized that most of those boys are now grandparents. Or grandfathers. Or grandmothers, depending. But yeah, so then he goes up and he plays his drum, and like you don't really see the baby Jesus because they're like in that we can't be asked to animate more than one thing at the same time.
Oh, light.
But then the king's like, "Oh, you because you played this song selflessly for the love of your little friend lamb. It was the best gift of all. Look, your lamb is better, and the lamb is better." And so we were like, let's think developmental psychology here. Baby Jesus is right now, at the time this takes place, only a few hours old. He is ruled by one overwhelming force, which is hunger, and by 2 primary instincts. One is grasping, and the other is rooting. That's that behavior where if you put your hand against a newborn baby, he's still looking to feed, looking to nurse, because that's the rooting instinct. The rooting and grasping, that's how you stay alive when you're an infant. Those are the instincts that guide you. So basically, his powers of resurrection and healing and stuff like that are not under his conscious control because, let's be quite honest, his muscles and his limbs aren't even under his conscious control yet. He can't focus his eyes. He's looking around, probably looking for human faces because that's how the brain is wired that young. But, so then I was thinking, that would be a great idea, just like this little toddler Jesus, toddling around, just like resurrecting, like there's a dead, wasp, and they're going resurrects it.
Yeah, or turning people into salt, or making people walk on water. I didn't mind Jesus doing all this stuff as a toddler. I mean, because a couple of Gnostic Gospels have Jesus as a child, selfishly being a little dick and using his powers on his school friends.
No, but I'm not even talking about like being a little dick. I'm talking about like unconscious, like Harry Potter accidentally using parcel tongue and stuff like that.
Yeah, a bit like what do you call it?
Jesus, young mage.
The Twilight Zone story with Bill Mumy. It's a Good Life, where the selfish little boy, gets all the powers of a god. Imagine that, but with a toddler. It would be really fucking funny.
But yeah,
just turns people's heads into giant tits and stuff.
Oh, and then he realized that because this happened and his lamb got healed, that the hatred that he had for people was wrong. Which is not really the right lesson to take from that. I mean,
yeah,
it's reasonable to hate the bandits that killed his parents. It's reasonable to hate criminals.
Have Jesus turn his camel and his lamb and donkey into like cyborgs, and then they can go off into the desert, Lone Star style, and kill the fucking bandits, and then he can learn that hatred is wrong.
Or he can get, like, a huge gun and a big red jacket, just like Trigun.
Yeah.
Around the desert like that. But so, what did you say when it wrapped up?
Well, this is shit.
Yeah, pretty much. It was one of their earlier ones. Now, we have One more animated, and 2 more stop motion to go.
Oh dear. It's never going to stop showing me these things.
No, I mean, we're only doing 12 Days of Christmas, so eventually we'll watch the next 3 and it will be over.
It will never be over.
Honey, regardless of anything else, time will eventually pass. The sun will set. The sun will rise again. Today might suck, but it won't always be today. That's actually the best advice I can give to anyone who's like having like a really catastrophic time. Like today might really suck. Today might feel like the absolute end of the world, but it won't always be today.
This is shit.
No, that's like real advice. Like
The thing was shit.
But my advice is not shit.
I did not make a comment about your advice.
That could mean many things coming from you. But yeah, this wasn't the best of them. But it's one that we watched often, my sister and I. So we've got 3 more to go.
That's why you and your sister are massive racists.
I'm not a racist.
I'm being stupid.
Okay.
I'm being silly.
Okay. Better hope my sister doesn't watch this. Because then I'll get a Facebook message. Wait a minute, why is your wife saying I'm a racist? I'm like,
that would be so funny.
You know how she is. She just talks. I don't even... And then my parents will get involved, and it'll become a whole family thing. Like that time...
If you see this, Joanna, it was a fucking joke, because the film has a lot of... It's basically pretty racist in its depiction of characters visually.
I don't think she knows that I have a YouTube. Although, if you are watching this, I emailed Dad earlier that I sent you and Chris his presents and the baby's presents to their house. So there you go. So for all my followers who aren't my sister, 3 more to go. Which one's coming up next? You'll see it right after we fade to black, because I have a title screen in there that tells you what's coming up next. The Christmas thing.
Why aren't some of these 10 minutes long?
Steven Universe episodes are 10 minutes long. Oh no, I can't watch Steven Universe. I better marathon some kind of show about zombies or James Patterson's Zoo. But I couldn't ever watch Steven Universe. Oh no.
I marathon shows I'm editing.
You can marathon Steven Universe. I have every episode.
No.
Legally acquired.
Bye-bye.
Christmas.